Happy New Year and welcome 2021. Hopefully it's a brighter, shinier year than 2020. So I got my car running over here. I've been starting it up and turning it off and warming it up, cycling the temperature, shutting it back off. Basically what I'm doing is trying to burn all the fuel out of the gas tank because I want to pull the gas tank off and put in a new float. I got a replacement float for it. It's a totally different design. It's more of a telescopic float compared to the factory one that came in these cars, which is kind of like a swing style float with a wire on it, where this one's kind of telescopic. It's just got a long shaft with a float that slides up and down the shaft. Anyways, I got her running over here. I'll pop the door open. While the car is running, I was thinking I'm going to do a little close-ups of a lot of the stuff of the car. Like, this thing was an original driver. It's a survivor. Like, for example, look at the trim on the windshield. Like, there's no gaps in it or anything. They're nice and tight. They're really clean. Even the back ones. There's some paint. Looks like this used to be black, and it looks like most of the colors faded off. There's a little bit of black left on the T-roof trim that's around it. T-roofs sit like really nice in there, even though the rubbers are all worn out. Even the back molding, there's a little bit of paint wax stuck in between. It looks like paint, but it's actually paint wax. But look how tight these moldings are. Like, they're really, really tight against the body. They're nice and straight. And then if you come down over here, this is one thing that everybody wants to look at, because a lot of these cars, the rear quarter panels end up rusting out and they get replaced. And when they replace them, one thing you'll notice is this little curve right over here. That will tell you that this is an original quarter panel and hasn't been molested. Well, I can't really show you here because I got these Trans Am mud flaps on it. I guess they came from the factory way back in the day. There's a bunch of weld marks inside here. I think there's about 5 of them. You got to look for that too. If those weld marks have been filled in or hidden, or you just don't see them, there's probably been some work done to the car. I'm not saying that it's bad. Better to have it work done to it than have it rotted, as long as they do it properly. Anyways, if you look down here inside the door jambs, it's all solid. There's no rust at all anywhere. Even the Fisher plates are in really good shape. They look like brand new. Almost brand new. The car has been rust proof. There's one of the plugs there. You can see a little bit of surface rust around the plug. That's from drilling it out and scraping the paint. And I guess the oil didn't completely seal it up. The interior, the seats are completely original. They haven't been touched. There's a little bit of wear, but I mean, overall, for a 40-year-old seat, they're in really good shape. Like, I mean, if you sit in it, it's not going to fall apart and turn into dust. Even the back plate in the back where the speakers are, that thing is made out of cardboard. The thing's in excellent condition, other than a couple of scuff marks on it. There's no rips, tears, cracks, or anything in the thing. And most importantly, this is one thing that everybody wants to look at when they're buying these cars, because it's the most famous place for them to rot out. And that'll be right inside over here on the dash. And as you can see, these things have absolutely no rust whatsoever on them. The dash curled up, I guess, a little bit from the heat. You can see a little deformation there. I guess, the hot summers and everything. But other than that, there may be a little a plastic clip that's supposed to go in there, or a spacer that's missing. But there's absolutely no rust, no repair work done to it. And even inside inside underneath the hood over here, they're prone to rust out right inside there. This thing is nice and clean. No rust whatsoever. If you look at all the bolts holding the fenders and stuff, they've never been touched. Like, look at even the hood. The hood is in fantastic shape. It's an original paint on it, and I mean, it's got no rust whatsoever inside out. And this is a Canadian car, folks. This is a place where we salt the roads every winter. So obviously, I haven't driven this thing in years. It's been sitting in the garage for pretty well ever until last year when I decided to do the LS swap. Even on this side, it's all nice and clean. But I confess, I did take this fender off. The only reason why I took this fender off is because I was changing the body mounts because the rubbers were rotted. I ended up putting polyurethane mounts on it. And one of the body mounts, the one actually in the front over here on the frame, was spinning on the body in the little cage that the nut sits in where the body mount bolts into. So I had to get the fender off to get at the cage to hold that nut from spinning. And I ended up getting it off. Passenger door is locked, unfortunately. I like to open it, show you guys inside. But you know what? It's in immaculate condition. There's actually absolutely no rust whatsoever in it. I even want to pop open the trunk, but the stupid door's locked and I got the car running. I guess I'm going to go around and just shut it off. Bear with me, folks. My back is killing me. I'm just like walking, tiptoeing at a time here. There's the beautiful LS3 416 stroker motor humming away. Runs really good. And I've been messing around with the tune for so long. This has got a BTR Stage 2 cam in it. You think the car would have a little bit of a shake, but if you look at the hood, it's steady as a rock. It's not vibrating, shaking, or anything whatsoever. So I got her tuned pretty good, and the balancing job those guys did in Toronto over here is an excellent job. Balancing the engine, the crank, the rods, and the pistons and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna just shut this guy off. Actually, you know what? I got power windows. I mean power locks. Hang on a second. Let me pop open the passenger door. Forgot about that. Unfortunately, my glove box is locked and I wanted to pop open the trunk. So you know what? Let me just shut this thing off. Yeah, I'm just trying to burn all the fuel out of it. I'm just trying to burn all the fuel out of it so I could pull the gas tank off with less issues and worrying about spilling gas all over the place and stinking everything up. Look how this door closes. I mean, this thing is solid. It doesn't even sag. I closed that door with my finger. Yeah, it rattles when you're driving, but you know, they were all prone to rattling when you were driving. I mean, that's just a design flaw, I guess, when they were built back then. I'm sure if I put those frame link connectors on, I was looking at the Hodgkin ones, but unfortunately, those things are really expensive. They're like 400 bucks American. That's some pretty serious coin. But, I mean, there are cheaper ones. Summit even sells a set, their own brand, and I'm not really crazy about them. I don't want anything that's going to be hanging down underneath your body. You don't want to see the frame hanging down underneath the rocker panels at the bottom, underneath the doors. And the Hodgkins one is the only one I would prefer to put on because those things are molded and shaped to the bottom of the contours of the floor of the car. So then you got no issues whatsoever with the thing sticking out when you're looking underneath it. Oh, my back's killing me. Okay, I'm gonna just try to get my key in here. Just unlock this glove box. I have it locked because I got, I don't know what I got in there. I guess I locked it so nobody could get into the trunk. Not that there's anything in the trunk to take. Oh, there you go. All right, so drop the key. Okay, the trunk lock power thing even works. There's my Terminator X-Max control pad. Let me just get back up over here, come around. I wanted to show you guys inside the trunk. It looks a lot worse than it really is. That's just a little bit of surface rust there. That's nothing. Like, there is no holes in the trunk whatsoever. Most of it's dirt. I haven't cleaned it yet, but I assure you that's all dirt and a little bit of surface rust. That's like nothing. Nothing a little bit of elbow grease can't take off. Only problem is my elbows are attached to my arms, that are attached to my shoulders, that are attached to my back. So I got an issue even trying to do that. I'm telling you guys, you got to be really careful with your back because when it goes out, it's like, holy mackerel. It's worse than getting stabbed. It feels worse than a broken leg. It feels worse than getting shot by a gun. I'm talking from experience. And, oh my God, I'm just kind of like, check out the floors. I don't know how well you guys could see this, but they're solid. And these things all rot out on the driver's side floor in the trunk because the water accumulates in there. It leaks in from the trunk or from who knows where, from the rubbers, and it just builds up over there over the years. And next thing you know, you got a big hole in your trunk on the passenger side. And a lot of people do is they buy a whole trunk lid, or sorry, trunk floor pan, and cut out half the trunk floor and then replace half of it because the passenger side's always in perfect shape. And yeah, so this car is in really, really good shape. I mean, even the rims, if you look at the rims, They're immaculate. I have a 2007 Escalade EXT that I drive, and I already replaced the rims on it because they're just kind of like trashed. All the beads were rotted out inside. They wouldn't hold any more air. And I had to get them replaced. I actually got a set when I was down in Florida because they were leaking so bad I couldn't drive the car anymore. I was putting air in it every couple of days. It was getting ridiculous. Ended up finding a set of, I guess they call them knockoffs. They're Cadillac style rims. They look exactly like a GM factory rim, but it's actually a knockoff. Who knows where they're made? They're probably made in China. But you know what? The factory original Escalade rims are made in India. So I don't know which one's better. I'm pretty sure that India's got higher quality manufacturing than China does. China's probably, in my opinion, one of the worst. They got the worst quality materials. They got a pretty well a slave labor force over there. So I mean, if you're a slave working in a factory, come on. Are you going to give it 100%? As long as you don't get caught, I guess. Who knows what they'll do to you over there. They arrest people for telling the truth in China. Anyways, so yeah, there's the B&M shifter and a closed glove box door. So she's in really, really, really clean shape. Even the passenger side, you got the drilled hole there with a plug on it for the rust proofing, and you can see the paint kind of rusting around it. But there's no holes. The metal's still solid. Even the passenger door, when you close it, the hinges, the pins, they're all original, and there's no sag whatsoever when I close the door. It's just click. It's just, I'm going to just push it with my 2 fingers. I didn't push it hard enough, but excuse me. There you go. It's my back, man. I can't help it. Anyways, they close really well. I mean, for a 40-year-old car, come on. You can't complain. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to do a quick close-up shots of a lot of the body panels and stuff on the car and stuff, and we could even get under the hood here a little bit. Got my new coil packs. Looks really cool. The only thing I don't have is I removed my air conditioning compressor bracket. I was going to put an AC compressor in there, and then one thing led to another. Next thing you knew, I took out the big tank that sits where the air filter is now. I forgot what that thing's called, an evaporator or something. And the lines hook into it. And so that's taking up the space of that. So if I decide to put the AC in, I got to reroute my air filter. And I don't want that air filter anywhere near the motor. I'd like to have it, I want to actually block that thing off so the air coming in is not the same air that's getting blown in through the cooling fans into the engine compartment and getting sucked in through the air intake. You don't want to get hot air going sucked into your air intake. You want to get it as cool as possible. That being said, at least the car does not ping or knock, or I haven't heard it yet. I do have the timing wide open throttle conservative. I got it at, I think, 24.5 degrees right now, and I plan on bringing it up probably to 28, 29, which is going to really wake it up. Anyway, our fuel, highest octane fuel that they sell over here is 94 octane from Petro Canada, of all places. Petro Canada bought out Sunoco, and when Sunoco existed here, they were 94 octane, so now Petro Canada is 94 octane. I believe Shell sells 93 octane, and Husky's another gas station that sells 93 octane. I think they both have a little bit of ethanol in it, but that's what everybody keeps yapping about, the E85 ethanol fuel, because it's a higher octane, it's got alcohol in it, which runs cooler, less pinging action. But the 94, what I got in here now, works fine. Unfortunately, I got to burn it all running this car until the tank's pretty well empty. I know it's pretty low now because when I started it up, you hear the fuel pump really, I got the fuel pump in the tank and you can really hear it whine when you try starting it on pre-start, when you turn the ignition on. That's because there's no more fuel around it, or it's not submerged anymore. But we're getting there. She's really dusty. It's been sitting here for a while. I got a beautiful car cover for it and I haven't put it on because I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this. And I'm like, I can't because my back's killing me. I'm just like, you know what? This is what I love. I love messing with cars. I love working on cars, especially the old stuff. This is a hobby to me because obviously, you know, I've been doing this forever with cars, not doing LS swaps or anything, but I mean, repairing cars and stuff. I used to work at a shop way back in the day as an auto mechanic. I had my license, believe it or not, it's expired. So I was saying earlier that I worked in the movie industry, doing a lot of TV shows and stuff that are on the air even today. And I left the automotive business because of that, because I got a break and got into that business, and it turned out to be the best thing I ever did because I was playing with cars in the movie industry.
My department's transport, and my particular department is picture cars, which means all the vehicles you see on set, on TV, they were placed there, parked there, or driven there by me at one point or another. I've driven everything from fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, SWAT unit trucks, those armored trucks that they got, Hummers. I've driven ferrets, those are military vehicles, tanks, troop carriers, school buses, Greyhound buses. I got a commercial license and I've pretty well driven everything. The only thing I haven't done is flown anything, and that's something I wouldn't mind trying either. The only problem is I don't want to kill myself. I do want to kill myself because my back's killing me. But no, I don't want to fly. I don't like heights. Like, I don't mind hopping in a plane and taking off. That's no problem. But the ground is pretty solid. Unless they come out with transporters and starships and warp drive, I ain't going anywhere. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully we all have a really bright, shiny 2021, because 2020 was really something else, wasn't it, folks? Like, it was something else, and we've actually gotten worse now at this point than ever with this coronavirus business. So everybody stay safe, protect yourselves, and try to follow the rules, and maybe we could beat this thing before it gets out of hand, because I think it already is out of hand. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.